Hello, Ghost Hunters! With the Apocalypse update, not only did we get Sunny Meadows and Camp Woodwind, but we got the custom difficulty. So what's the best way to play custom difficulties? For the sake of time, I'm going to cover 3 categories for the custom difficulty: the easiest, the middle ground, and the hardest. But before we get started, if you're already playing custom difficulties and you have a setup you love, tell me what your settings and multiplier are in the comments. Let's start with the easiest. So I know some of you are probably thinking, what is the point of a friendly ghost? And what is the point of playing if you don't get any rewards? I'll get into that, but first, let me explain this setup. For this difficulty, you'll want your ghost to be friendly. This means it won't hunt. It also means that you can't die, and you won't lose any equipment. For this particular setup, I prefer to have sprint set to infinite and speed boosted to 150%. All of the other settings depend on the reason for playing with a friendly ghost. There are times, believe it or not, people play games for fun. I know, shocking. But if you're new to Phasmophobia, you may want to try a friendly ghost, so you can explore a new map. If you've not done a lot of hunts in the new Sunny Meadows map, this is a great way to check out all the developers' hard work. But what if you're not new, and you've already checked out all the locations? Why else would you want a friendly ghost? Friendly ghosts give you lots of opportunities to experiment with equipment. You can set your sanity drain to 0 and then play with the cursed possessions. You can check out the Easter egg in the Chapel of Sunny Meadows without fear of death. You can remove 1 or 2 of the evidences and test your ability to figure out your ghost by its traits. Playing with a friendly ghost will certainly not garner you any money or levels, but that doesn't mean it won't be fun, and you will certainly gain game experience. You may remember my video on how to get your Apocalypse trophies, and this is by far the hardest thing you'll do in Phasmophobia. In this setting, you'll turn everything to the hardest possible setting. This means that you'll be slow. The ghost will be fast. You won't have any sanity, so the ghost is going to hunt a lot, and as soon as you walk inside. There won't be hiding spots, so you're going to have to get creative. You won't have a flashlight, and the power will be broken. The ghost will not give you any evidence, so you'll have to determine its type by traits alone. Here's how this differs from the Apocalypse Challenge. You won't be earning a trophy for this, but you will get the 24 multiplier in rewards, money, and levels. And it is hard, so you'll have all the bragging rights. And since you're not working towards that Apocalypse trophy, this means that you can do it on a smaller map like Tanglewood or Willow Street and have a higher chance of survival, and you won't have to do it alone. In this instance, you'll definitely want to make sure you bring smudge sticks and crucifixes, and that you know where you intend to hide before you enter. Since you won't have any hiding spots like closets and lockers, this means you'll have to know where a good hiding spot is just inside the entrance. If you're especially brave, you can try this on bigger maps, but keep in mind, you'll likely spend more time dying and losing more money than you'll be earning. So this is more for the challenge than it is for the rewards. So if you've been playing the game a bit, you may be looking for something a little more challenging. Chances are you want something harder, but not so hard that it's overly frustrating. If you've messed with these settings at all, you've likely realized that you can get more rewards and custom difficulties than by playing on Nightmare. And you can remove the parts that you don't love about Nightmare and add in some options that aren't available in that mode. How you set this up may depend entirely on if you are playing alone or not. For example, when playing alone, I don't mind starting at 0 sanity as long as I bring pills, because I can top off my sanity with the pills and then use a candle to keep my sanity high. But if I'm playing with a team of 3 or more, then chances are I want starting sanity at 100. If you're going to use candles instead of flashlights, which I recommend, then you can turn the sanity drain to 200%, because as long as you have your candles, you won't be losing sanity by being in the dark. Keep in mind that ghost events will still drain your sanity. If you don't mind being slower, you can lower your speed and turn off sprinting to get a higher multiplier. I personally detest being slow in any game, so I prefer my speed at 100%, although I am willing to sacrifice the sprint. I prefer having 3 evidences, so I typically will keep mine at 3. I often lower my fingerprint chances and the duration because I feel like after the ghost has touched a door multiple times, you can determine whether or not you've got fingerprints, even if the chance is low. Because I don't spend a lot of time in the van, I typically have a broken sanity monitor and activity monitor. But if you're playing with multiple people, you may want to keep your sanity meter. Because I play with a candle rather than a flashlight in these situations, I also will have a broken fuse box. So depending on your settings, you'll be looking at a multiplier anywhere from about 13 to 20. Your hunts will likely take you a little longer than they would on professional difficulty, but I'd guess you'll have a higher success rate than you would on Nightmare, with a much higher return on experience and cash. And the best part about playing like this is that you can pick and choose the parts you like or don't like about increasing your difficulty. Have you tried the Friendly Ghost? Have you played on the hardest custom difficulty with the 24 multiplier? Do you think playing on custom difficulties makes the game more fun, or do you prefer amateur, intermediate, professional, and Nightmare? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and as always, happy hunting!